Hi friend, it's me, Pima.
And me, Pico.
Ready to play and grow?
Let's go with Pima and Pico. Guess what? We have magic cubbies.
Let's open a magic cubby and see what's inside.
Which cubby should we open today?
Ooh, look! Open the cubby with the orange star on it.
Okay, can you open the cubby for us?
Use your hand and pretend to pull it open.
What's inside?
I see something bouncing. Whoa, it's a letter from Silly Town.
The mayor needs our help.
Let's see what it says. Dear Pima and Pico, everything is mixed up. Big things are tiny and tiny things are huge. Can you help us fix it? From the mayor of Silly Town. We need your imagination to help Silly Town.
Time to put on our imagination helmet.
Now tap your head. That's your imagination helmet.
We're in Silly Town now.
Look at this giant cupcake and tiny slide.
Those don't belong. Slides are big.
And cupcakes are small.
Use your finger to zap the cupcake into the right size.
Point your finger at the cupcake and say small.
Small. You fixed the cupcake. Now it's small.
Use your finger to zap the slide into the right size.
Point your finger at the slide and say big.
Big. You fixed the slide. Now it's big. Here's a lion and a ladybug.
Which one is supposed to be big?
The lion is supposed to be big. Which one is supposed to be small? The ladybug is supposed to be small.
Point at the ladybug and say small.
Small. Point at the lion and say big.
Big. Much better.
If you say so.
Look, here's a tiny watermelon and a huge blueberry.
Let's zap the watermelon into the right size. Point at it with your finger and say big.
Big. Blueberries are supposed to be smaller than your hand. Point at the blueberry and say small to zap it. Small.
Phew, we're doing a good job.
What else is down here?
Whoa, a giant egg, but a teeny tiny car.
Let's zap them into the right size.
Point your finger at the egg and say small.
Small. That egg is still too big. It would never fit under a chicken.
Let's try again. Point your finger at the egg and say small. Small. That's better. I bet there's a chicken out there saying cluck, cluck, thank you, cluck.
Now point at the car and say big.
Big! The car is still too small to fit someone.
It's still so small, only my foot could fit into the car.
Let's try again. Point your finger at the car and say big, big, big. Big, big, big!
Yay, we've really helped Silly Town.
But uh-oh, there are more silly things we need to fix. Look at this bed. This bed is way too small for bedtime.
And look at this toothbrush. It's as tall as a house.
Should the toothbrush be big or small? Small.
Now help us shrink the giant toothbrush. Get ready to zap it with your finger.
Point your finger at the toothbrush and say small. Small. Should the bed be big or small? Big.
Use your finger to zap the bed into the right size.
Point your finger at the bed and say big. Big. Oh no, now the bed is too big.
We're not trying to fit an elephant on there.
Point your finger at the bed and say small. Small. Phew, glad we fixed the bed before an elephant tried to lay on it.
Everything's the right size again because of you.
Silly Town is happy again. What was your favorite big or small thing today?
I liked the giant toothbrush. It was so silly.
I liked turning the blueberry tiny again. It was so cute.
Look around your room. Can you find something big and something small?
What if they switch places like in Silly Town? What if you zap them with your finger to be bigger or smaller?
See you next time, friend!